Hello everybody, Bets Golden here. I'm super excited today. I have these gorgeous die cuts from RIta Barakat, little angels, and I love them because they're perfect for the holidays, but they're not the traditional standard angels. So I want to make a mixed media canvas called Hark the Herald Angels. So I'm going to be using these as my, as the angels, obviously, in the canvas. And I'm going to pull out these three as my main focus for that. I have just taken one of these Art Loft boards. I think it's Artist Loft boards. You can find these at any craft store, and usually packages of 5. I think I got a package of 5 for $5. So this is going to be my base for it. I did go ahead and put down a layer of white gesso. I ran a heat gun on it, but I am letting it set up because I want to do something kind of cool on the background. But we're going to stick with the white as the base, and I say that because I never know how this is really going to go, right? We're going to stick with I'm hoping to stick with a white, but it may get into colorful explosions, which is so fine with me. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to take a piece of, I want to make some clouds. So I'm going to use this big art foamy stamp, and I'm going to use some embossing, an embossing pad by Nuvo. It is the Clear Mark embossing. This is super juicy. It's a brand new one, and I need that for this, most definitely. I want to make my cards, my clouds pink. So I'm going to emboss them with the Kiss of the Fairy. And this is the RIta Barakat Emerald Creek line. So you can find this on RIta Barakat website or on Emerald Creek. I will have a direct link to her Etsy store. I am on her what am I trying to say? Her design team. I love her stuff. I'm not just on it because, I can be on it. I really do love her stuff, and this project I am super excited about. So I don't get any kind of kickback from RIta Barakat. However, I do, since I am on her design team, I love to play with her stuff, and I do believe in it. So you will find her affiliated link down below. And it's not really an affiliated link, it's just the link to her store. So I just want to show her some love over there. And if you can tell her that Bets Golden sent her your way, that way she can kind of track. And that'd be awesome. So I'm just going to ink this up with the embossing pad. And I'm going to make 2 clouds. Oh, let me flip it over. I moved my paper. You know what? I shouldn't be doing this on the craft mat because it's super slick. This is a better surface. So anyway, what's cool about these art foamies, and there's a couple different artists that actually contribute to this. These got really popular, I think, because of the gel plate, which is fantastic. But what's cool also about them is you can use ink like I'm doing, paint, or a multitude. You can like stamp into things. You can take a hot embossed puddle of embossing powder that you've heated up and melted and stamp into that, so there's so many cool things you can do with an art foam. It's like my very favorite stamp right now. I love these things. And since they're foam, you don't have to have anything under them to cushion it. So I'm going to take my fairy, Kiss of the Fairy, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this all over. And it's okay if I pour too much because I'm just going to pour it back into the jar. I didn't want any of the excess pink that you see right there that's kind of fallen out. I could have taken my little stamp pouncer, pounce that over my board, my image, where I'm going to stamp it first and then stamp it, and then I wouldn't have that excess. In fact, I might do that with the next one so you can see the difference. However, I really don't care because I think it's kind of cool to have the pink it's more, you know, I don't want it to be totally neat, but if it does happen, all you can do is just take a dry, soft paintbrush and you can remove it. I'm going to leave it because I kind of like it. Okay, so this is super thick embossing powder and it dries beautifully. I mean, look how pretty that is, but this is still wet. It does not set up as quickly as some other embossing powders do. So I want to give it a minute before I start to try to run this over it, though I don't think I'm going to pull much off of it. And let me go ahead and do the other side of it. And this time I'm going to pounce it with that pouch. So you can find these pretty much at any craft store. And it's a little pouch with like cornstarch or powder in it. And what it does is it preps your surface so there won't be as much static cling. All right, so as you can see, that image came out a little bit more crisp and there's not as much of the excess embossing powder sticking to my my paper. And see, like right here, the cool thing is, you know, even it's so thick, it really does need something to stick to adhere. And there wasn't much there, so I can clean it up after too, which is nice about the Emerald Creek Magical Mysteries by Rita Barakat. Look how pretty. So lots of beautiful shine and different shades of pink in this. I love this, so pretty. I'm going to cut these out and then we'll come back and work on our mixed media canvas. One thing I want to say about the Art Foamy stamps is when you go to clean them, you really need to only wash them with water and a little bit of soap. You do not want to use any harsh chemicals or even your stamp cleaning material on it. This is a foam and it will dry out and that can cause cracking. I just let mine air dry. I have washed it, that's why it's wet. And once it's air dry, I have a box that only has these stamps in them and I don't put anything on top of them as to not crush them. From here, I'm going to go ahead and have some fun. This is going to be a lot of fun, actually. I'm going to do another layer of fun embossing on this as the background. I'm going to use my embossing pad once again, only I'm not going to be stamping images this time. I'm actually going to be laying out embossing color in random fashion using the Magical Mysteries. This is the base. It's the fairy wing base. So there's this beautiful base, and what this does is there's a couple different ways to do this. You can lay the base out first and then add in the beautiful pigment, or what I like to do is I like to mix a base together of the base and a pigment, lay that out first, heat it up, and then go over with some more color. So I already have a base prepared from another project that I had done, because once you start to create your base, you can't really store it again in any of these containers because it'll cross-contaminate. So the base, and then it comes with this gorgeous purple. It comes with a blue, and then a green, gold, and pink. For this project, I already have a base started and it is like blue and purple in here. So I'm going to leave that as so. I think I'm going to add a little bit more to my base, and it's just going to be the straight up white because I want to put on pink and gold. Those are going to be my colors that I'm going to use. I'm going to set these others aside. So I'm just going to take and kind of stir this up, and I'm going to lay this out first, and then before it dries, because this is a slow dry, I will go ahead and pour out a little bit more gold and a little bit more pink. I need to open this up and ready to go on this, because even though it is a slow dry, it does dry. And once it gets dry, you can kind of heat it up again, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. I am going to work over a piece of paper so that I can just pour the excess on it. And I'm just going to take my embossing pad and smoosh it all around. Like I said, remember how I said I wanted white to be, you know, the predominant, and then I'm like, it might go crazy. This is where it might go crazy, and we might get rid of this white, which is totally fine. That's the fun of mixed media and doing things like this. So that's one way you can do it, is you can just continue to kind of heat set and then add little puddles of it here and there. But what I'm going to do now for the rest of this is I'm actually going to take it and sprinkle it kind of randomly all over the place. Now, if you notice, it pools. So if you go back over a spot and you want to spread it some more, you just keep your heat gun there and it will spread it some more. So fun. So as you can tell, it's much easier to lay out the base with one color mixed in or just the base alone. And as it's still hot and you move your heat gun to another area, go ahead and throw some more color down on it and then go back and heat it, and it pulls and it heats up so nice, and you're left with a beautiful background that you can never ever predict. I love this. So pretty. So I'm going to let this dry for just a minute and cool down, and then we will come back and start to assemble our board. I want to emboss the edges and kind of give it a finished off look for the edges, and I'm going to use the mermaid fin. Since I am going to be rather rough with my ink pad, I am going to use an older one that's pretty beat up for the edges on this. We have this beautiful board as our base. Had no idea how that was going to turn out, right? But ooh, I love it. So I need to start to assemble, and I'm going to be using this ultra thick gel medium. It's Dina Wakley. It is a glue and a sealer. Since this is a mixed media piece that I don't know if I'm going to keep for myself or give away, I do want to seal it the best that I can because it will be out. So I wanted to put 2 of these down. Kind of lay out. Let me see. I'm going to put my girls, my angels. So before I do this, I want to take my gold, and I actually want to have the gold kind of coming out of where my clouds are going to be. So I'm going to use the Nouveau, the Glitter Accents in Aztec Gold, and I'm just going to place it like this, and then I'm going to fan it out. Just a little sparkle. You can definitely use this in the traditional manner and, you know, drop it in, but I kind of like to flatten it out and give it some juice. Here, once this dries, I can lay this out. Now, this is the top of the cloud, and this is the bottom of the cloud. So I want to make sure that the bottom of the cloud shows more than the top at the top, and the top of the cloud shows more at the bottom, if that makes any sense. I'm going to put her on pop dots, so I'm going to do her last, and I do have this one floating off of the edge. I kind of like that look. So I need to wait for this to dry and my glitter to get dry, and then I'll go ahead and add the sealer, the glue, over the top of it, and it'll be locked in place. It'll be ready to go. I also like to use a liquid type adhesive on this to start with, because you can move it around and you never really know what you're gonna want until you start playing with it. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then, oh, you know what I could do? Nope, I'll do the title at the end. Yep, I'll let this dry and I'll be back in a few. So this is dry enough for me to add that second coat over the top of the glue that is going to, it's the medium actually, it's ultra thick gel medium, and it's a glue and a sealer. So I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to lay out, see, I want to put her on pop dots kind of in the middle and make her pop out. So I think I'm going to do my title down here on this cloud, and then I'm going to finish it off with some more fun stuff. So the cool thing with this gel medium is it doesn't have to be completely dry in order for me to still layer on it, because it's a glue. So it actually helps seal everything in. I'm going to go ahead and put this little gal on some pop dots and place her on here. Super cute. I pulled in some fun, you guys are going to think this is crazy, but they're glow in the dark. I think this is so fun, and I want it to be fun and whimsical, and, you know, I want it to be, you know, kind of cute and bright and cheery. So I pulled in some glow in the dark. They're glow drops. I have the apple sour, the banana split, the shocking pink, and then this one is just a regular one. It's the white. In case I didn't have enough white, I was going to pull this in. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use these yet on here. I was thinking about actually taking and doing dots and then just smearing the dots out in this area, but I'm kind of liking the background on this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just random colors around each of them. I don't have a blue glow in the dark, so I'm going to use the green glow in the dark for her and the yellow for her around her. I think that's cute. And then for here, I just want to do some down here. And I am so tempted to throw in some white. Yes, I'm going to smear the white. I should have done this first, but then I got the bright idea now. So that's okay. So I'm just going to take in some areas and put this white down. There we go. I'm going to call this finished. I think it's so cute. If you're interested in any of these products, again, I have the link provided down below. Please share this video with anyone you think might enjoy it. Check out all of my social media sites. You can find me under Bets Golden for my website, for Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. And I would love if you would subscribe and follow. And if you have any comments or suggestions, leave them down below. Until next time, happy crafting.